Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Deffinition, aka the YouTuber that's universally considered a moron. This video we're breaking down the crazy story that's shaking up Hollywood right now. That is, a lot of cinema chains are refusing to show Universal films in the wake of comments made by the chief executive of the company. Throughout this video we're going to be going through the news and discussing why I actually think that this is a smart move by the theatres. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel for videos like this every day, and please hit the thumbs up button if you agree and dislike if you don't. So the original comment from NBC Universal came in the wake of Trolls World Tour. Jeff Shell, chief executive of the company, said the following when discussing its release. The results for Trolls World Tour have exceeded our expectations and demonstrated the viability of PVOD. As soon as theaters reopen, we expect to release movies on both formats. Can't do the accent. So basically this means that Universal will be putting their films out in the cinema and on video on demand at the same time. So you can buy the film and watch it at home early. It's a thing that we've saw a lot of studios doing in the wake of the pandemic, with movies like Bloodshot, The Invisible Man and The Hunt all being available to watch from home. Universal are now viewing it as the way to release their films, and it went down worse than a Big Mac at a vegan festival. AMC fired back, releasing a statement stating the following. AMC will no longer play any Universal movies in any of our theatres in the United States, Europe or the Middle East. It also extends to any movie maker who unilaterally abandons current windowing practices absent good faith negotiations between us. Ooh, look at you using those fancy words. So, massive warning to the rest of the industry to not even consider this strategy if they want their films to receive a theatrical release. AMC own Odeon, one of the biggest cinema chains in the UK, and they announced that they would not be showing the films over here. Regal Cinemas in the US joined the boycott, and Cineworld are now part of it too. So everyone universally hates Universal all of a sudden, and they didn't even block their Halloween's Kills plot leak video worldwide because it was true, eh? Cheap shots coming from the Heavy Spoilers Show too. I don't like yous either. Anyway, there's basically two sides of the argument. One that think this is a natural evolution of how things will go, and the other side that thinks Universal are about to ruin themselves by doing this. Now personally, I tend to side with the latter, but I'm gonna explain why. Universal's upcoming releases are Jurassic World 3, Halloween Kills, Fast 9 and some other crap, probably Trolls World Tour 4 or something. These are all expected to make a lot of money, however they will also potentially lose a lot if they're not released through theatres. Now cinema chains are dying, I don't think there's any argument there. Streaming has changed the landscape of film, and now it's easier to watch things at home. You don't have to drive out into the night, sit in a room of recycled thoughts, and genuinely it's probably a more pleasant experience at home where you can pause the film or sit on your phone for 45 minutes. I didn't buy this 70-inch TV for nothing. However, that's the old model, and I do think that in the future cinemas will adapt and change in order to make an experience once more. We're saying that cinemas are dying because we only have the model that's existed for almost 100 years to judge it on. In future, the way cinemas run may change to where it's like a restaurant or a bar and you can sit and have a meal whilst you chill out and watch the film. Some select cinemas have already started to do this, and I can see it being a model that's widely adapted in the future. So I think cinemas will stay relevant as the model isn't too rigid where it won't adapt. Now why I think this is a bad idea for Universal is because they think that because Trolls was successful that everything will be, but let's look at some of the potential reasons as to why it was. Firstly, we are in the middle of a pandemic and a lot of parents are stuck at home with their kids. Every day they have to constantly find something to distract the spawn of their loins, the beast that currently cries out for them in the night, and therefore I can see people happily throwing down $20 to get the new Trolls movie. It's not a lot, it keeps them happy, and they can sit in the room drinking themselves to death, constantly checking their phone to see if it's all over yet. So using Trolls as a way to base your future business model around seems a bit strange to me. There's not enough evidence there to support that this is a strategy that will continue to succeed because it's unlikely that we'll be in lockdown for the rest of time. Another aspect is that piracy will skyrocket if all Universal films are released on VOD. I know that in the case of The Invisible Man, when it was released on VOD, my uncle Well, not really my uncle, more of my mate's uncle. Well, not really a mate, more of an acquaintance. Anyway, he watched it for free about 8 times. You simply couldn't do this in the past, but due to screen recording technology, if things are uploaded to VOD, you can quite easily record them in 4K and upload them to wherever. I also think VOD sort of devalues the movie just a bit. It's the modern day straight to DVD, and I think that if things are constantly released on VOD, people will just stop watching them. Think about all the shows that get released to streaming that just fall by the wayside. Now imagine that, but with films, and you have to pay for them on top of the subscription service that you already pay for. Yeah, I think I would just give it a miss, to be honest. I think I'd watch a couple of titles, but on the whole, I doubt I'd fork out that much money every time. Whereas with cinemas, I have an unlimited pass where I pay £18 a month and can go as many times as I want. On top of that, if you look at the box office trends, Universal don't bring that much in the grand scheme of things. Disney actually now bring in 75% of the earnings year by year, and though initially people thought that theatres were saying goodbye to their revenue stream, when you consider all the other studios like Warner Brothers, Sony, Lionsgate, A24 and so on that make up the other 25%, Universal probably isn't that big of a chunk in the grand scheme of things. I think going forward, in 25 years time anyway, most theatres will be Disney theatres anyway, because they're buying up absolutely everything right now. You're next, Sony. Basically, what the cinema is doing is that it's actually saying, we don't need you, good luck. So what Universal have done is cut off a massive part of their distribution chain now, because things will only be released either on VOD or in smaller cinema chains that still wish to show their movies. AMC is massive in the US, as is Odeon and Cineworld over here, so that's cutting off a lot of places that your films can be shown. I think this may also scare other studios and stop them from potentially doing the same thing. In the long run, it will cut people off from your movie, and sure, VOD is cool and a good way to watch movies, but it also takes away from the prestige of your film. It opens it up to piracy, and the main thing that holds piracy back right now is that a lot of films are captured on cams, so people don't want to watch them because they're so low quality. If they have access to higher quality copies, they will no longer have this as a detractor and therefore will watch them. So whilst I may be in the minority, I'm siding with the cinemas on this one. I think that this has been done for a specific reason though, and that is because the cinemas want a meeting with the studio. Obviously they've worked together in the past, and I can see them actually coming to a compromise where they may get exclusivity for the cinema for a certain amount of time, and then VOD will follow shortly after. That would be the direction that I could see things going in. Now since all this happened, Universal have come out and responded to the controversy and said the following. We would only look beyond cinema premieres when it makes sense. We absolutely believe in the theatrical experience and have made no statement to the contrary. As we stated earlier, going forward, we expect to release future films directly to theatres as well as on PVOD when that distribution outlet makes sense. Our goal in releasing Trolls World Tour on PVOD was to deliver entertainment to people who are sheltering at home while movie theatres and other forms of outside entertainment are unavailable. So they pretty much backpedaled on it, and I think now that they're likely working overtime to go through how to handle the situation. I think it just works out the best for both parties to keep things the way they are. The model has been in place for decades for a reason, and it just feels like both sides have something to lose if they decide to go this route. Personally though, I think that it would be a bigger loss for Universal over the cinemas, and that's just looking at it from the stats, data, and basically be hating Universal. I'm just kidding, Universal, I forgive you. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and if you agree with me or if you think that it's a smart move by the studio. Comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up and make sure you check out our breakdown of all the latest updates on the Batman. We go over a new Matt Reeves interview, Robert Pattinson's training, and what the Penguin and Catwoman could look like, so yeah, definitely check that out. If you want to support the channel from as little as 99 cents a month, then please click the join button below. We massively appreciate it, and as a thank you, you get access to content early. If you want to come chat to us after the show, either follow us at Deffinition YT or click the Discord link in the description below. Every month we give away free movies to people who are subscribed to the channel, and this month you can win the Marvel Phase 3 Part 1 box set, and all you have to do is comment on a video and make sure you sub with notifications on. The more videos you comment on, the more you have a chance of winning, so make sure you get involved. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 15th of May, and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are mad into movies, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Huge thank you for taking the time to watch this. I've been Deffinition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.